So currently it's -4 degrees and it is cold. I won't lie, it is cold. But the goats are out here, they're doing all right actually. Let's take a look. Here we've got Phoebe and Maya, they're doing all right, eating some hay. They've already had some food and we've got a new thing to put on their climbing frame when we give them access to this, probably when it gets a bit warmer now because it's a bit slippery and they're still quite small. But they've got plenty of straw in their sheds, as you can see, it's all coming out the doors. But yeah, and then Henry and Oscar over there. But you can see, today actually is not too bad because there's no wind and there isn't any snow. Well, there isn't much snow. This is kind of all from 3 days ago. It's all a bit frozen. Everything's frozen, to be fair. So I'm back out here. It's been a couple of hours. I'm here feeding the goats on my lunch break, but they're doing well, which is good in the cold. Obviously, they're fully ready for it. And you also have a lot of hair, and in that hair, they have a lot of like kind of fluff. It's really soft and it's incredible and really insulating. You can see, obviously, there's lots of hair. And then kind of in there's lots of fluff. Like all of that there, you can see it's just so warm for them. In today's video, I want to give you some quick like tips and things I'm doing to make sure they do well in the cold. And I think the first one, like the major one I've been using, is these kind of milk cartons. But basically, they just got hot water in them. And what I do is fill them up, bring them up, and then what I can do with the buckets, because it's getting really cold at night, the buckets are freezing quite a lot, so they're quite hard to break and like get the ice so they can drink. So what I do is obviously you break as much as you can, and then if you empty one of these into each bucket, basically the ice melts and makes it easier to break it, and also it's a bit warmer for the goats if they want to go and drink that or whatever. But yes, that's the first one. I've got to do that. I've got one each. Should be really sick. Just make sure you're not doing it too hot because you don't want the goats to burn themselves, and it should be fine. And my second kind of life hack is not really a life hack, but this one is kind of just make sure they got plenty of straw, honestly. And obviously Henry and Oscar have their own shed and Phoebe might have their own shed, and they're quite small, so pretty good at keeping the heat in. But especially tonight, it's going to be -7 at its coldest. I'll put that up in Fahrenheit as well. It's going to be freezing, really cold, so I'm going to make sure they've got plenty of straw. They can probably like get in and kind of have lots there to keep them warm. And look, as soon as I open the gate, they're out of here. You can see the straw goes in there because it's quite loose, and Henry's trying to get in there already. But Oscar's just looking around. They'll go back in when I ask them to. And then obviously Phoebe and Maya over there eating their hay. But look at it. I think it snowed like 4 days ago and there's still all the snow here. Most of it's ice now anyway. And you can see this like chunks of ice from the buckets that just haven't melted. So as you can see in Henry and Oscar's shed, they've got a section there obviously of the bale and another one there. Just so they've got plenty of straw in their shed because obviously it's a bit bigger. Then Phoebe and Maya have a section there and then some loose stuff as well. But we've got to get them back in their field because they've gone for a walk, which you don't really want. Phoebe and Maya are pretty good, but we'll go and get them. We do. Look at them. Look at them. I've got a bit of extra food, so we can bring him back in. Oh my god. Okay, I mean, there isn't any left, but this is where I leave some at the end, just in case they do this. Yeah, I think they just like being out of the field. But everything out there is frozen as well, so there's not much to eat. Come on. Come on. There we go. Good boys. Go on. Go to your trough. Go on. Yes, go. Off you go. There we go. Yes, go on, Henry. And then I'll give them a little bit just because it's quite cold. I mean, they obviously don't need the whole thing, but whoa. There we go. I've reduced the amount of food they're eating because you're meant to keep your goats mainly eating hay and then barley straw and then a little less grain. So I've been reducing the amount, changing their food up, and it's right, it's really cold, so I don't mind giving them a little bit of extra food. But yeah, so with life hack 1, add the hot water to the bowls because that could be really good. Life hack 2, extra straw. It's kind of a given, give them as much bedding as you can, but it's really beneficial in the long run. It keeps them really warm, especially as tonight's going to be so cold. And then life hack 3, I guess, is just to keep an eye on your goats, obviously, because if you are watching them and checking them over every time you come and see them, you're able to see if they're cold or they're changing behaviour due to the cold or something like that. Because I noticed my goats, well, Henry and Oscar didn't like to eat their hay when it was really cold, especially in the mornings. They're not too much of a fan of the hay, but Phoebe and Maya will just eat it, so I was a bit confused. But it's just those things. If you watch your goats, you kind of see what happens and changes their behaviours. You can kind of adjust it a bit due to the weather as well. Like I give them more straw in the winter, obviously, because they need more bedding. You can see he's gone really fluffy, which is good because the goats obviously adapted to the cold. They are able to deal with it by getting all the long hair and all the fluff, obviously. But you've obviously got to help them just that little bit further because they're not used to like -5, -7 and beyond. But we're quite lucky because it's only getting to -7 here. but it's like warned it can get to -10 or more, but we're in quite a warm area, so we're quite lucky about that. But I will do another video on tomorrow, like what it's like tomorrow when they're absolutely freezing. They should be fine. I'm sure they'll be fine, but obviously I just got to come down here, check them, see how they're doing. That's kind of it. So yeah, one thing I wanted to say at the end of the video, I want to say thank you to everybody who comments on all the videos. It's really sick. That's really sick. And yeah, thanks for subscribing, that sort of thing. And if you have enjoyed this video or found it quite useful, do like and subscribe. That would be really awesome. Leave some comments, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.